Hi, Room 230. It's time for math. So glad that you are here. For this lesson, you're going to need two things. You are going to need your Bridges workbook with a pencil, and you're going to need your tape measure that you got in the mail. So will you please pause the video and go and get those things right now? Okay, welcome back. Earlier in the year, we did some measuring, and we, if you remember, measured all kinds of things. I think we spent like 3 weeks measuring every single thing in our classroom. We measured the shelves, we measured the room, we measured the books, we measured ourselves. Do you remember doing that? Yeah, and what unit of measurement were we measuring with? Yes, you are right. We measured in inches, feet, and yards. And we learned, well, small things we measure in inches, medium-sized things we measure with feet, and really big things like the playground we measure in yards. Because an inch is small, a foot is medium-sized, and a yard is big. So we learned how to choose the right tool. Some of you might already know about this unit of measurement that we're going to talk about today, but you might not be sure why we have it. Today we're going to be talking about centimeters. This side is the inches, and then this side is the centimeters. A lot of rulers have inches on one side, centimeters on the other side, and you're thinking to yourself, but why is that? We already have inches, and inches are small. Why do we need another one that's even smaller? Well, centimeters are part of a different system of measurement. Centimeters are part of the metric system. Here in America, we have two systems for measurement. We have inches, feet, and yards, and miles, and that is called the standard system of measurement. But then there's another system of measurement that almost all the other countries in the world use, and it's called the metric system. The metric system is what we're going to be thinking about this week. The metric system has centimeters, decimeters, meters, and kilometers. And so we're going to learn about this system of measurement. To help us do that, I'm going to read you this book called How Long or How Wide, and then I'm going to show you your assignment in your Bridges notebook. So let's get started with this book. I'm going to get my camera set up so you can see it really well. Okay. How long or how wide? A measuring guide. A table, a teacher, a building or creature, a stuffed teddy bear that you've treasured. What size are they all? The big and the small? Each one of these things can be measured. Here we see a cat and a mouse and they're measuring each other. That's kind of silly. Length answers the riddle for large things or little. How long or how tall or how wide is that swing? Or your ring, or a dinosaur wing, or the ladder that leads to the slide. Inch. 1 inch looks like this, and it's easy to miss because it's very small size, but it shows us its might when it helps tell the height of the trees that reach up to the skies. Foot. 12 inches together makes 1 foot. So whether you measure a desk or a door, each 12-inch long line is a definite sign that you've measured another foot more. So we're familiar with inches and feet because we've done a lot of measuring with inches and feet, and we know that a ruler is 12 inches or 1 foot long. And see this? It's cool. Inches live in this tool. It's a measuring stick called a ruler, a 12-inch collection, a 1 foot of perfection, the right size for every grade schooler. We also know that rulers are super helpful to help us draw straight lines too. Yard. Now, 3 of these feet, should they line up and meet, together are what's called 1 yard. That's 36 inches, and here's what the cinch is. That's also 3 feet. It's not hard. I remember learning about this in class. that a yardstick is the same thing as 3 feet. And if we add the inches, we know 1 foot is 12 inches. So if we went 12 plus 12 plus 12, then we would know that that is 36 inches. 1 yard is 36 inches. If you measured your bed and the yardstick had said that your headboard's exactly 3 feet, you could say that the height is 1 yard, and you're right, or 36 inches. How neat. So 3 feet is the same thing as 1 yard, which is the same thing as 36 inches. It's really quite wise when you're measuring size to know more than only one system. So here they call it the English, or we also can call it the standard system. So we just learned about the English system or standard system. The terms here are fun, and before we are done, you'll surely be able to list them. Now this group over here, they're going to tell us about the metric system. So it's almost like it's 2 different teams, 2 different ways of doing things. Millimeter. It's nearly as thin as a needle or pin. 1 inch holds almost 26. Put your face really near. That's the whole thing right here. It's smaller than most fleas and ticks. So a millimeter is very, very tiny. And on some rulers, when you're looking at the centimeters, the millimeter is the little tiny lines that are inside the centimeter. Centimeter. This is what we're going to be talking about today. Take your fingers and pinch less than half of 1 inch. A dime would quite easily hide one. As small as it is, when you're asked a quiz, there are 10 millimeters inside one. So 1 centimeter is the same thing as 10 millimeters. Decimeter. A bit less than 4 inches, really no more. There are 10 centimeters tucked in it. 100 would be the amount you would see of all millimeters within it. So a decimeter is the same thing as 10 centimeters. Meter. Just how tall is Peter? He's all of 1 meter. It's a little bit more than 1 yard. Or you could say Peter's just 10 decimeters, and watch as your paper is starred. So how can you tell just how tall is that bell? How wide is your thermos or cooler? Now it's a pleasure because you can measure, which makes you the ultimate ruler. So, what is length? Do you know? And here it tells us there's the English measurement, yard, feet, and inches. And here's the metric measurement, meter, decimeters, centimeters, millimeters. So today we are going to talk about centimeters. And to do that, I'm going to show you how to use your tape measure. So this side of your tape measure with the black and the white sections are the centimeter side. This side with the big numbers are the inches. So we're going to measure some things. And I'm going to show you something that's just a little bit tricky about this is if you look at the tip here, you don't see a number 1. You see 2 as the first number. That's because centimeters are so small that the first centimeter is under this metal bit. So this metal bit right here, that is about 1 centimeter. You could say that the metal end of your tape measure is 1 centimeter. You can almost see the line. Like, I feel like if I could just peel that back a little bit, I could see the line that goes across right there, which is 1 centimeter. So if you go down to this line here, if something is this big, that means it's 2 centimeters. I was trying to find things around my house that are 1 centimeter, and I have to tell you, I had a really hard time. I found something like my pinky nail is about 1 centimeter wide. It's actually a little bit wider than that. And then I found a push pin, and the plastic part of the push pin, not the metal part, the pointy part, just the plastic part, it's a little bit bigger than 1 centimeter. And I found a marble, and the marble is also a little bit bigger. It's more like 1.5 centimeters. It doesn't go all the way down to the 2, but it's definitely bigger than the 1. So I don't know if you can find anything in your house that is only 1 centimeter. I thought it was really tricky. Okay, so let me show you how to measure using centimeters on your measuring tape. Here I have my pad of Post-it notes, and I'm gonna see how many centimeters they are. So we wanna remember that the edge here, this is the beginning. We're not starting here, we're starting at this end. So I'm gonna line that end up with the top of my Post-it notes. Do you see how that's lined up? And then I'm going to go down here to the end, and I'm going to read, it's after 15, but before 16. So it's at 15 and some more, or what we can say 15 and a half. So my Post-it notes are 15 and a half centimeters long. Let's see how long they are in inches. So same thing, I'm gonna line it up in the end, and this time it's exactly 6 inches. So my Post-it notes are 6 inches long, or 15 and a half centimeters long. So your assignment for today is to do page 90 in your student workbook. If you have your student workbook with you, please get that out right now. And it says Army Ant Ruler Record Sheet. If we were at school, we would have made our own rulers, and we would have called them the Army Ant Rulers. But because we're not at school, we're not doing that. Instead, we're going to use these. So when it says use your Army Ant Ruler, don't worry about that. Just use your tape measure that I mailed you. So use your ruler. Find at least 4 things in the room or in your house that are about 1 centimeter long, between 1 and 10 centimeters long, and about 10 centimeters long. Fill in this chart to show what you find. So I already showed you that I found a few things that were about 1 centimeter long. My fingernail, sorry for the messy writing, I'm having to write it at a weird angle, a marble, and a push pin. So it looks like I need to go find a couple more things that are about 1 centimeter. Now I need to find some things that are between 1 and 10 centimeters long. So I was looking around my house, and I have this really cool green rock. And if I lay it down or line it up with my tape measure, I can see it's just a little bit over 3 centimeters long. So I'm gonna write rock here. I also found this clip, and if I measure the clip, I see it's 6 centimeters long. So I'm gonna have to find some more things that are between 1 and 10. And then over here, we're to find some things that are about 10 centimeters. It doesn't have to be exactly 10 centimeters, but it can be like 9, 10, 11, or 12 centimeters long. I have my little trusty hand sanitizer here. Let's line that up. And it's just a little bit over 8. It's like 8.5 centimeters. Not quite 10, but pretty close. So I'm gonna use that hand sanitizer. I also have this beautiful candle that someone gave me. And when I measure it, I see, actually this is smaller than I expected it to be. This is only 7. I wonder if I can find something maybe a little bit bigger. Actually, I'm gonna put the candle over here in this category because it's between 1 and 10, but it's not very close to 10. What about my Expo pen? Well, it's bigger than 10. This black section is 10, and then it goes up to 12. But 12 is pretty close, so I'm gonna say that's okay. I have my small Post-it notes. I could measure these. Those are 8. That's pretty close. I'm going to say Post-it notes are about 10 Post-it notes. So I need to do some more work. I need to go and find some more things that are about 1 centimeter, between 1 and 10 centimeters, and about 10 centimeters. And then the second part of this, I want you to measure these lines and write down how many centimeters it is. Now for this, you're going to need to be very careful, and remember you're lining up the metal edge with the beginning of the line. So the beginning of the line is that little mark right there that they put there for you. So line that up nice and neat, stretch it down, and I see that it goes right here, and it is 7. So I'm going to say that one is 7 centimeters. I'm going to leave it up to you to measure the rest of these. Line B, line C, and line D. Just make sure that you're lining it up very carefully and to see how long it is. And that is your homework for this week. So to review, you're going to find some objects in your house that are about 1 centimeter, between 1 and 10 centimeters, and then about 10 centimeters long, and then you're going to measure these. When we come back, we're going to talk more about measuring in centimeters. All right, it's always fun doing math with you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing you in math group this week, and we will talk more about measurement then. Don't forget to watch the second lesson to see what the rest of your homework is. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.